Hello and welcome to our second week of this course. As you begin this week, do be sure to look through the week 2 module very carefully. While the textbook readings are lighter this week, you need to be aware that there is a video embedded. It's an 11-minute video that really overviews how an IEP meeting should run. It's part of a 5-part series, and it's a really great example of how to bring all the stakeholders to a table during an IEP meeting. So in addition to reading one chapter from your text this week, you will also be responsible for watching this video. Our outcomes are to understand the IEP planning process, become familiar with Ohio's IEP form, demonstrate understanding of various models and strategies for consultation and collaboration, as well as design an appropriate lesson plan that meets the learning needs of students within the general education setting. So as you see, here are your readings this week. Text Chapter 3. There's a short and sweet IEP overview. This is a brief article to kind of familiarize you with not only the different parts of the IEP, but also the purposes of those parts. If you follow this isn't really anything to read. It's just an example of what Ohio's IEP form looks like so that you can become familiar with that document. Your first assignment this week is due by Wednesday. It is your discussion post. For this, it's 2 parts. For the first part, make sure you're only selecting one of the 3 questions below. And then there is part 2, where you're finding a short quality video of a co-teaching model. Make sure that your initial post is posted by this Wednesday so that your peers have time to reply and comment and give you good feedback on your post, and so that you have the time to do the same for them. Here again is the discussion forum rubric. Outside resources are very strongly encouraged as part of your citations. So when you are responding to part 1, make sure you're not just using chapter 3 of the text, but draw upon the themes that you saw in the week's videos. And when it says outside resources, you are free. Here's some that may appeal to you to reference in your post for this week. You're welcome to use those as your outside resources or locate your own. Now, there is one larger assignment than a discussion post this week, and that is called the IEP Adapted Lesson Plan. You are going to use the case study down here below. It's right here. And you will see that there you are going to be working with the case study of Teresa. While this is an example of what Teresa's case study looks like, just so that you know what you're looking for, you're going to open this PDF document and you are going to go to her case study, which is Level A Case 5. And Level A Case 5 can be found on page 5 of the PDF document. So when you get to this portion, open this. This is just the sample of what you're looking for. It's an image to help you find the pages and the information you need in that document. You're going to open it up and review each of the star sheet strategies. So here is Teresa. You're going to read about what her strengths are. You're going to read about her needs, and then you see there are several possible strategies listed that could help Teresa. I want you to read through each one. So again, when you have this document open, if you go all the way to the bottom, it is a rather long document, but you're not required to read it all. If you go towards the bottom, you'll start seeing star sheets, and each sheet talks about a different strategy. So if I go back up to my table of contents, one of the strategies listed for Teresa was peer tutoring. So I could just go to page number 25, read about peer tutoring, and see if that's something I might want to incorporate into my lesson plan. Your lesson plan needs to revolve around meeting Teresa's needs, as well as using and implementing one of these 4 strategies to help her with her reading comprehension. How you execute that is up to you. The lesson plan form here is provided for you. To give you some additional ways to accommodate and modify your lesson, you may want to look at this checklist just to see if there's anything that you would like to add. But you are just selecting one of those strategies to build into a general education lesson. It could be a whole group class-wide lesson to support Teresa in that whole group setting. It's really important as gen ed teachers that we understand the various learning needs represented inside of our classroom and know how to create lesson plans that support those students in a natural and scaffolded manner. So once you've created your lesson plan, you'll submit it here. I want to open the rubric for you. If you hit this blue here hyperlinked, you'll see the department lesson planning rubric. Each one of these criteria, this is a 60-point assignment. So you can see here it says that since there's 12 criteria, exemplary is worth 5 points, 4 points for competent, 2 to 3 for developing, and 0 to 1 could be earned for unacceptable. So you can see here are the gradations on the lesson planning rubric. I've colored and highlighted the various portions of the lesson plan that will be looked at. So really take the time to go through this. I would say one of the most difficult sections for many of our candidates is making sure they use kid-friendly definitions for their vocabulary terms, and also making sure they understand both the receptive and expressive language demand required by their lesson. This orange section, context for learning, that's a biggie because that is where you are going to build the connection between your choice of strategy in your lesson plan and how it is meeting the specific needs of Teresa in the whole group setting. You don't need to write a book, it just can be a short paragraph, but I want to see how you intentionally plan for Teresa through the use of your whole group instruction time and the use of one of those 4-star strategies. And then you can see the rubric continues to go through each section of the rubric. Now, if you have any questions this week, please let me know. This case study assignment is not due until Sunday of week 2. So you have time to work on it over the next weekend. But if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out and let me know, because odds are if you're having a question, then others in our class probably are too. And I can go ahead and address that whole class more easily if I know where your areas of clarification are. So thank you for your hard work so far. Keep up the good work. This video did go a little longer than my usual just because there were 2 assignments due this week. So happy trails, and I will check in with you again next week.